Breaking news right now, Scripps News and Decision Desk HQ project that Andy Beshear wins re-election in Kentucky.
He racked up early numbers in all of the major population centers, Louisville, Frankfort, Lexington. And if you look at the way the map is drawn in Kentucky, yes, there are a lot of red areas on that map, but there aren't a lot of votes in those red areas. And as you look at Andy Beshear right now, his lead is almost insurmountable because of the percentage of votes that are already in, and the fact that some of the larger population centers like Louisville really have not yet counted all of the major votes. At last tally, we were looking at about 76% of the vote in Louisville in the Fayette County, I believe it is, going for Beshear. So Beshear racking up early leads. It appears that he will hold on, and that projection is looking like it's solid.
And really interested to see how the percentages fall by the end of the night, because, you know, just recently he was up 16 points in a poll, and then it switched very dramatically.
Speaks to what we've been saying about polls, which is that in one sense he was up 20 points, and then a week later they were tied. And this appears to be more accurate as to what we saw in the polls about a week ago, CB.
Yeah, this is one of the big questions. How exactly would Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear fare? But I believe we have our answer now. So let's go ahead and toss to our political correspondent, Nathaniel Reed, who is in Kentucky right now. Nate, what are you hearing where you are right now?
Well, what's interesting is we haven't really heard the cheers that you typically expect at a victory or election night party that you typically hear when a candidate wins re-election. And Andy Beshear, as Decision Desk HQ and Scripps News have just been able to project, has won re-election here in the bluegrass state. Right now, they're relying on Kentucky Educational Television, which is yet to call the race, and so no one has been visibly reacting so far to the results, just because they are looking at different data. But at the same time, Scripps News calling this early in the night tonight, partially because of some of those early numbers that they saw back. Some of that is that early vote by mail, early vote, which heavily folded in the direction of Governor Beshear and allowed him to sail to re-election. Again, a lot of the votes still to come in tonight. If we look at some of the percentages, even though we've called it, we're just about 43% of the vote has been tallied so far. So a lot more of that vote's going to come in. The margin between the two candidates could get closer. Right now, Beshear is up by about 21,000 votes or so. But at the same time, this was, of course, a major victory for Democrats here. And part of Cameron's strategy throughout this race was to try and tie Beshear to President Biden, an unpopular Democratic president in a ruby red state that former President Trump won by 30 points even in the 2020 election. And so though he tried to tie the two together, and though voters I spoke with here, Democratic voters, were concerned that that attempt to try and tie the two together would be successful, it appears that in the end it was unsuccessful, and that the enthusiasm was behind Andy Beshear, a popular Democratic governor. In the end, he was able to, of course, sail to victory. Scripps News and Decision Desk HQ projecting that he has now won the governor's race here. Again, a muted response behind me as the crowd here is watching.